Lucy Lawless.
Good morning.
Hey.
Hey, Tone.
How are you, girl?
I'm so well, thank you.
Oh, glad. I have two lovely people, Tyler, raise your arm, and Tracy, raise your arm. They're going to be our microphone specialists for today's Q&A.
Super.
So just line up. Let's get started. Shall we do ladies first?
Hippolyta in red. Ladies first.
Sure, if you want. Tracy, who do you got?
Trey's old-fashioned, isn't it? Hello.
Hello, hello.
Now we can do men first. Whoever's there first.
Yeah.
First past the post.
Run now.
Say again.
Said run, make it a contest.
Make it a contest.
We have a question over here.
Oh, thank you, Tracy. Go.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi.
I love you and everything you've been in, but especially your SNL that you hosted back in the 90s. I want to ask you about...
Back in the 90s. So last century. Yes.
If you remember, I wanted to ask you specifically about the very amazing sketch, Stevie Nicks Fajita Roundup.
I remember it well.
Yes, and how you prepared for that, because it was genius.
That's good. We prepared for that. They ask you, have you got any talents? And you go, no, that's why I'm here. And they said, any mimicry? I said, well, as a kid, I kind of did Chrissy Hind and Stevie Nicks. And they were saying, oh, let's hear Stevie Nicks. So I did my little rendition. They were going like, oh, perfect, that's a keeper. And then they wrote this fajita roundup. It's some joke about Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, who have settled down and own some roadside taco store, which, as a non-American, I absolutely did not see what was funny about that one little bit. And I think it could happen. And so I think maybe that was the X factor in that particular skit, because I had no idea that it was funny, if it was funny, and that people would ever remember it. So just kind of magic, alchemy.
Tyler. I love it.
Hello. Well, I went to Dragon Con once.
It was awful.
I'm supposed to be Grumpy Cat. You probably
Oh, Grumpy Cat. Got it. The meme, the cat with the short
Oh, yeah. Gorgeous. Got it. Yeah, that's funny. Hey, I'm a meme too. Look at all the fucks I give. Sorry, Michaela and other tiny children. Oh my gosh, there's the girls. There's some very familiar faces in this audience. Hello, darlings.
So what was your question?
So my question is, first of all, we're thrilled to have you here at Dragon Con, and thank you very much for coming. I was wondering how you heard about us, what you heard about us, and that made you want to come here. And then I'm also interested in knowing what we can look forward to seeing or hearing you do in the future.
That's one of those. This is a three-pronged question. How I heard about you from Bruce Campbell and Ted Raimi. And they said, Lucy, you've got to see this. I've never done I've done I've just done Xena conventions in Los Angeles if I happen to be there, because they were there first, and I try to honor them. If I'm in town, there's no way I could not go. They would hunt me down in my career. But everybody says Dragon Con is the most fun, and that you all, that it's not corporate, it's not network, that it's a bunch of they say very loving people, Yeah, it's a different kind of environment. So.
It's run by fans.
It's run by fans. Yes. It really is run by fans. Like, there's nobody here that doesn't seem to be a total and utter nerd. So proud. Nerds rule the world.
I think the last part of our question was a future project. Is there anything you would like to touch on?
I am going after this to Australia to do a political thriller. It's a 6-part miniseries about a kid who finds himself embroiled in a huge nuclear scam, you know, big scandal, whatever's going on. And he's sort of going to wear it, and I play the woman in his town, very small town in outback Australia, who is trying to advocate for him, save his ass, because it's bigger than they can even comprehend and really scary stuff.
Ooh.
What about Chicago? What about Chicago? You're not mentioning Chicago. What's wrong with you, Lucy?
Chicago. Oh, sorry, the thing was on my mind. You're right. I'm going to do Chicago. That tottering town, Chicago. No, not that Chicago. I'm going to do a very gritty version of Chicago where I'm playing Velma, and in the Fosse Broadway version, like it's there's this.
Do it.
Should I do my little Fosse? Yes. They're doing this stuff because Fosse dancers are incredible athletes, and I'm not a dancer and not an athlete. But fortunately, this is not. Yeah, I'm really not. But this is going to be Michael Hurst's incredibly gritty, dark, bizarre, and gorgeous production. So it's going to be more Michael Hurst than Fosse, and don't tell anybody who owns the rights.
It's our secret.
We're going to have our wicked way with it, and it'll be just great fun. For those who don't know, Michael Hurst played Aeolus in Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. He's a world-class performer and an incredible director, so a lot of our most operatic and most colourful, rich episodes of Spartacus were directed by Michael Hurst. So I'm so privileged to be part of his production.
That was a pretty show. That's Spartacus.